Welcome back. Set for the singing of O Canada.
Our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy son's command. Keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Mark Donnelly does a great job with the anthems. He does so as usual, backed by a group of brand new Canadian citizens just sworn in earlier today. Let's have a look at our starting goaltenders for this game, Chief.
Well, we take a look. You see Ben Bishop undefeated in regulation this year. Eddie Lack gets his first start in this new season. You see what he did last year. These two guys met in the two games last year. Lack lost both of them. Ben won both of them. The eighth coach in the history of the Lightning, John Cooper, behind the bench for the Lightning. And a new coach, Willie Desjardins, is the 18th head coach in the history of the Canucks.
And the officials for this game, Steve Gazeri, you see him. He'll handle the opening faceoff. Kyle Raymond working with him. Mark Wheeler, Brad Lazarowicz, the linesman. Even though Willie Desjardins is coaching the home team, Chief, this is a home game for John Cooper from Prince George, British Columbia. Quite a ways away from here, but he spends a lot of time in Vancouver, he and his family in the area here in the off-season. And he's got family and friends on hand as Steven Stamkos opens this game. The pass carries the length of the ice. We get an icing call.
Well, let's take a look at some ice keys brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. And key thing is that face-off circle. Lightning are really trying to play that puck possession game. They've been very solid in the face-off circle, and that's going to be a factor here tonight. And special teams, their power play and penalty kill has been excellent at the start of this year, and they want to continue here again against the Canucks.
And Hughes with a shot for the point. And that's deflected wide. Jason Garrison, 2 years a member of the Canucks, coming to the Lightning on draft day. Daniel Sedin out to the point to Hughes. He's wearing a cage as a result of taking a stick in the game in Edmonton last night in the face, broke his nose. He was able to come back later in the game, and Desjardins said his ability to come back in that game was critical to winning it 2-0 over the Oilers, because they also lost Ryan Stanton earlier in the game on their defense, and he did not come back. Lead pass here. Andre Palat to Stamkos. Steven alone. Fake shoots. Scores! Stamkos sent on his way by Andre Palat. Scores in the opening minute.
Wow, it was really something. They blocked that pass at that blue line. Vancouver had really good puck position in that zone. And watch it here. They just kind of, the pass is deflected, and then all you do is just roll it out there. His speed takes over. And the backhand finds that looked like it was the 5-hole, but I think it went up underneath his arm and over the pad. But heads-up play by Andre Palat. Stamkos picks up number 4. It's always great to get the lead here in Vancouver.
Tough first shot for Eddie Lack. A great way for Andre Palat to celebrate his 100th game in the National Hockey League. Anton Stralman out there. Valtteri Filppula centering Tyler Johnson and Alex Killorn. Line combinations remain the same for the Lightning since the end of the homestand. Puck is played in front, bunted away by Filppula. Tapped in front now just away from Chris Higgins. Alex Edler's shot is blocked, and it's controlled now by Filppula. He'll skate it out. Johnson waiting at the line. Hangs onto it. Reaches back for it now. He's checked by Higgins. And Stralman takes control for the Lightning at center. Palat gets the only assist on Stamkos' 4th goal at 53 seconds. Here's J.T. Brown for the Lightning. Looking for Vlad Namestnikov. Nikita Kucherov rounds out this line. Puck comes to the slot. Brad Richardson steals. Good pass ahead for Zach Kassian in a one-on-one with Garrison. And Garrison digs in to work the puck away. Yannick Weber with a shot that's tipped wide. He's making his first appearance of the season for Vancouver in the lineup for the injured Ryan Stanton.
Well, so far it looks like Vancouver really wants to put 4 guys in deep in that zone. And if you ever can knock that pass down or get control of the puck above the face-off circle, you're going to have some breakaways and odd man rushes.
Kevin Bieksa angles that pass off the stick of Derek Dorsett, the former Ranger. He was traded on draft day to Vancouver. Eric Brewer from Vernon, British Columbia, playing that puck up the boards. It's tapped in by Brendan Morrow. Brett Conley, another BC native, with a penalty upcoming for a trip against the Canucks. Steve Kazari with a call at 2:44, and the Lightning get the benefit of the power play to go with their 1-0 lead, and it's Dorsett heading off.
Yeah, then they trying to make that very quick transition into the offensive zone. It was slowed down somewhat by Dorsett, as you see coming right here. There's the trip on Brendan Morrow. And Brett Conley is probably one of the most we've ever seen him. He's happy coming here to Vancouver to watch a game where he grew up watching.
Here's a steal, and Higgins cutting and shooting, and it's directed away by Victor Hedman. Moments after the Lightning's Toyota power play chance began. Lightning coming in, 31.6%, 6 of 19 of the power play. Hedman trying to get things set up here with Valtteri Filppula. Nick Bonino takes the puck away, and he'll clear it out. He's a new face in this lineup. Came over from Anaheim for Ryan Kessler, and he's part of a group that has gotten the Canucks off to a good start killing penalties. They've taken care of 10 of the 11 times short so far this year. Both these clubs' special teams are off to very good starts.
Yeah, they are, and they very aggressive on the penalty kill. They get in deep in there. I think Lightning have got to move that puck a little quicker than they have so far in this first half. They make that quick pass, you're going to catch them 2 men deep. You'll have a 3-on-2 back the other way.
Filppula, good pass to Stamkos, winding, shooting, and it's blocked by Hamhuis. Tyler Johnson spins it in front just by Alex Killorn's stick, and Strawman back for it. Pretty good thrust there by the Lightning with a couple of opportunities. 42 seconds to go on the call against Dorsett. Here comes Strawman. Killorn trying to swing around the defense, fires along the goal line, and Eddie Lack there for the pad save. Lucas Sbisa, who also came in that Kessler deal from Anaheim. Number 5 on the Canucks defense, pressured here. Nemesnikov to Kucherov. Johnson up top, dealing it now to Kucherov. Feeding it to Nemesnikov, tried to backhand it home, got it back. And out to Johnson. Around they work it. Killorn's in the slot. Pass in front to Johnson, double teamed, and the puck is taken away. And out come the Canucks with Jannik Hansen. He'll backhand it in, and that'll do it for the penalty to Derek Dorsett. Canucks hold that deficit at 1-0.
I think that's something that they're going to really watch next time if they get that power play again. They'll be able to move that puck quickly. Boy, I don't think I've seen a team get that deep on a penalty kill as we did on that first one by Vancouver.
Brian Boyle behind the Vancouver net. Here comes Brett Conley crashing into the corner. Brett's got family and friends looking on, hailing from Prince George. His younger brother playing for the Vancouver Giants in the Western Hockey League. Got to see his brother Josh play last night. Here's Jason Garrison moving it along to Matt Carle. Conley steps away from Lyndon Bay. Morrow steers it in. Hamhuis swings by. At one point, in fact, for about 8.5 minutes of that 2-0 shutout last night in Edmonton, Ryan Miller authoring that shutout for the Canucks. They were down to 4 defense, and it looked like they might have to finish the game that way, but Hamhuis coming back, wearing the cage, and Desjardins was very thankful of that.
I think that really gave the Canucks a boost as well for a guy to come back after getting really cut badly with the stick from an Edmonton player.
Ryan Callahan throws a check in the corner. It's fired by Bay down the ice. Comes to Bishop. He'll play it to Brewer. Andre Schuster trying to get to it. The puck left the zone. Spiza, an Italian-born defenseman, has it back. And as he moves it in, we get the whistle to the offside. We played 6.5 minutes in the first period here. In the first minute of play, Steven Stamkos made it 1-0 Lightning. 1-0 Lightning in front. Of course, their only trip to Vancouver this season. That's certainly not lost on John Cooper, with family and friends in the area, as he told us this morning.
It's great to see my mom and dad and my brother come down and get to see all the nieces and nephews, and it's a lot of fun. And so you don't get to come out here that often. Brief stint in the summer for a few days, and that's it. So to be able to see the family, and the other great thing is they get to come and watch you work too. And it's always fun when we don't have a ton of Lightning fans that follow us around out west, but when we come out here, between myself and Brewer and Conley, we should have a pretty good contingent in the stands tonight.
Yeah, that's why I thought that there was some talk that they might end their sellout streak here in Vancouver, Rick, and with all the family and friends coming in to watch the Lightning play, I think that would probably take it over.
Yeah, certainly the Cooper family's doing their part to try to keep that string going. We'll tell you more about that. Alex Killorn had it worked free and all the way back to Eddie Lack, the Swedish-born netminder. It's played off the glass. The race on. Higgins to Bonino. Sets up with a shot to Higgins. A save. Rebound. They score. And the Canucks tied up just past the 7-minute mark.
17:15 to be exact, and the Lightning were caught on a line change as well as a bad giveaway at their blue line, and it was slow to get back. You could see that it was a 3-on-2 all the way. Rebound, big save by Bishop right away, but Higgins did a really nice job of staying square to the puck. As it came out, he was able to grab it and fire it into the wide side to tie this hockey game. But Lightning's got to be much better at puck management. You can't turn that puck over that neutral zone very much.
Higgins' first goal of this season. He had 17 last year. And Bonino, the new face, in effect taking Ryan Kessler's spot. He had requested a trade to be moved out of Vancouver. Here's J.T. Brown swinging in. Backhand try, and it skimmed the outside of the net. Garrison keeps it down low. Nemesnikov after it. Brown, Spiza keeps an eye on him. Kucherov with it, waiting for traffic. Nemesnikov tied up in front. Garrison with a quick shot that's blocked. Here's Brown firing, and it's off a skate and wide. Hansen bumped by Nemesnikov. Got a Hansen, the Danish-born winger, playing it ahead. Dorsett busting to the net. Reaching out was Callahan to deny his former teammate. Dorsett ends up in the goal mouth, dislodging the net. But an outstanding play coming back by Ryan Callahan.
Take a look again. They're very quick to get to the transition, Vancouver. Lightning are a little slow in getting back. Nice play there. And as he tried to get to that, Dorsett just kept going and had the net stop him.
Boy, Chief, you think of all the guys, Dorsett one of them, that 12 months ago were wearing Ranger uniforms, and now they've been moved out of there. That's quite a transition for that team. Boyle, Strawman, and Callahan right here with the Lightning, and Dorsett another one. It was part of their run to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Stamkos moving it ahead to Andre Palat. They hooked up for the Lightning goal. Stamkos on the breakaway. Callahan one-handed in front. They score! Stamkos again! And a step on his man. And Callahan doing it at both ends of the ice. Tampa Bay back in front 2-1.
That's what they have to do. They have to get the puck into the zone quickly and preferably under control, and they can get on that defense. And that's what happened. They got in there very, very quickly. Callahan as well. Steven Stamkos does a nice job of really shielding the Sedin away from the puck and getting the backhand through Eddie Lack. But again, that's another reason why you want to play in their zone. That forces that Sedin, that high scoring line, to play in their own zone and play defensively a little bit more often than they're used to.
Bennett pressured here by Morrow. Lyndon Bay with the LA Kings last year. Moving that puck ahead for Brad Richardson, another former King. He's getting roughed up by a former King first-round pick in Brian Boyle. Tanev, his pass blocked by Conley, gets it back. Callahan and Palat, the wingers for Stamkos, figure in the scoring of that goal. Stevens second of the night, number 5 on the season, and as Brad Richardson reached in there to poke away at Ben Bishop's catching glove, the Lightning respond to that. That goal at 8:26.
Second tonight, 5th of the year. And now Brian Boyle and Kassian are having a few words.
Well, Stamkos 3 goals against the Montreal Canadiens less than a week ago. And now he's back in the score sheet twice in the first 8.5 minutes of this game.
Hey, talk about shooting percentages. There's only been 5 shots fired by both teams, 3 by the Lightning, and there's been 3 goals scored.
11 each, 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct minors to Brian Boyle and Zach Kassian here at the 9-minute mark. Canucks played 2 games last week, then they had the week off until they skated in Edmonton last night, and we mentioned Ryan Miller shutting out the Oilers 2-0. And that Sedin line figuring in both the goals. And the Lightning have been a little busier with a 4-game homestand with 3 days off. And a great opportunity, Chief, to get out here on the Thursday, practice on Friday, and get acclimated time change-wise and in many ways to get prepared for this game.
Oh, you're right, Rick.
Edmund fires a save by Lack. He'll hang on to it.
You see Yannick Weber trying to clear the front of the net, but it was set up by Tyler Johnson as he took out Spiza with a nice body check, got the puck, and was able to set up Hedman for a good shot on goal. Yeah, you're talking about the Vancouver easy schedules thus far, but starting last night, they're going to play their 15 games in 26 days. It's going to be 14 and 25 now, but and 9 of them will come on the road, or 8 more on the road rather. So they're getting into a heavy part of their schedule.
Yeah, lots of road games, 18 of the first 29 away from Rogers Arena. That'll be a real test for them. Right now they got a test with a Filppula line, forechecking. Callahan on with Callahan in this 4-on-4, or with Filppula in this 4-on-4 situation. Garrison hustles back. He's working the right side tonight with Matt Carl on the left. Pass ripped away there by Rabada.
Yeah, you gotta. Right now, we've played 10 minutes into this game, and now you got to realize you got to move that puck accurately and quickly in your own zone.
Stamkos flying around Hamhuis. Finally relieved of the puck. Daniel Sedin getting it to Henrik. Nice little play back to Daniel. Here's Hamhuis with a shot blocked by Stamkos. Wow, a lot of stars on the ice on that shift, and on display here in the first 10 minutes. The goal by Higgins tied it. Stamkos is second of the game.
Well, you see the scoring time here remaining in the first period. Steven Stamkos both goals. And we talked about how successful he's been against this Vancouver team. Take a look now. This is updated. In 6 games, 8 goals and 12 points. He's had a goal in every game that he's played in.
Canucks are glad they only see the Lightning twice a year for that very reason. They used to be happy to see the Lightning coming when Tampa Bay started out 8 losses, an overtime loss, and 2 ties their first 11 trips to Vancouver, but they have found success since then. They lead 2-1 here in this first period, and Stamkos is going to give Chris Tanev a run for his money. He leaves the puck for Alex Edler. Henrik Sedin trying to poke it along, and can't quite call Victor Hedman his neighbor, but from the same small town, Warren Skoldsvik, who Victor keeps telling me I'm pronouncing it wrong. That's the best I can do. About 28,000 people, and a ton of hockey talent has come out of there, and Paul Kennedy ran that down on Lightning Live pregame tonight. Unbelievable amount of stardom to come out of that small Swedish town. Brett Conley to center. And a step inside on Edler, who stripped him of the puck.
Just about got through him. It was just a last minute poke check by Edler to knock the puck away from Conley's stick.
Weber backhands it in. Bishop playing it. John Mathias trying to slip in there. Now it's Andre Schuster operating in that corner. Filppula trying to get it away from Hansen. It came to an alert Bishop, and he covers it with a stick glove. The Holy Hog Barbecue Package scores you 2 tickets, 2 barbecue sandwiches, 2 sides, and 2 sodas for all Monday and Tuesday games. Packages start as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com. 4 tickets. And next Lightning home game is going to be a Tuesday night game against the Arizona Coyotes.
And former Lightning goalie Mike Smith.
That's right. On the 28th. Here's Hamhuis with a shot through a crowd. Knocked down. Brewer chips it out of play, and he's headed to the penalty box for delay of game at 11:53.
Well,
Captain penalty number 2, 2 minutes delay of game.
This will be the Canucks' first crack at the power play, and both these teams, as Rick pointed out, got pretty decent special teams. The power play for Vancouver is at 23%, just over 23%. And that's ranked 9th. Last year, they really struggled on the power play. They were ranked 26th. It was just a shade over 15%, and they're trying to get that part of the game better this year.
Harry Pern is on their staff now running the power play. Of course, well-traveled assistant. And he's got some very definite ideas on the power play. So does Desjardins, who was really the catalyst in the Canucks going after Lyndon Bay. We don't know much about him. Young player who just got his feet wet in the NHL with the Kings last year. But we'll see him prominently in his power play. He was a star for Desjardins when they were together at Medicine Hat in the Western Hockey League. And Desjardins really believes in his abilities. And be the man in the middle on their 1-3-1 power play. He's got the puck right now.
Yeah, they gave a second-round draft pick to LA to get him, and that was the second-round pick they got from Tampa Bay in that trade with Garrison.
Alex Edler with a shot, and it's deflected off the glass by Tyler Johnson. It ends up out of play with 1:05 to go on the call against Brewer.
Well, the Lightning's penalty kill has been very good, and we've talked about it. They're very aggressive on the puck carrier and making sure that they really have to hurry their play. But the key thing of it is when you're against the Sedins, you got to be careful. You can't rush them too much because they love that. You can't chase the puck. They did a pretty good job in the first part of that power play.
Edler shoots again, knocked down Bishop. A stop on Alex Burrows in front, and he kept that loose puck within reach with an even minute to go on the Vancouver power play.
We talked about the face-off as being one of their keys. There you see it right there. That power play win on the face-off by Vancouver got a pretty good scoring opportunity. Good shot from the point. And a good one to get through by Alexander Edler.
Shots 4-3 Lightning with a 2-1 lead. Here's Edler teeing it up again. He'll blast one, and that is handled by Bishop. As the Canucks continue to rule in the face-off circle here.
Yeah, as a team, they haven't been very good. They're under 50%, 46% to be exact. But they certainly have been strong on this power play. They've won the last 2. And you can see what they're doing is they're getting it back to those big gunners on the point, Hamhuis and Edler, and then just going to the net and hoping that it is either screened, tipped, or rebounds available.
Filppula. Shoved to the boards by Higgins. Lightning get control. They do clear it out. They can make a change with Callahan coming on to join Filppula. And away comes Edler, who was a stunning -39 last year and is plus-minus. Pretty much been a plus player his whole career. That puck deflected off the glass, went out of play. The crowd disagrees. But 30 seconds to go on the Brewer penalty.
I don't think people realize that rule. But if it hits the glass and goes out, it's okay. It has to be a direct shot outside over the glass and inside the zone. And I think even half the players don't realize that, because every time you see it hit the glass, they all start thinking it's going to be an automatic penalty.
The whole building's trying to sell the call sheet.
I think so.
Referees can't be influenced like that. On the face-off, Boyle reaching around and pulling that back to the corners. Sedins have it with Rabada, stopped in front by Bishop. He makes a save off Henrik and hangs on with 22 seconds to go. Wow, you don't want to let those three loose around your net.
No, you don't. And again, another face-off win. You got to make, that's the one thing you got to be very, very aware of. You got to make sure that you really bear down. And if you are going to lose it, don't let that guy win it cleanly.
Off the face-off, here's Daniel reaching in for it. Stroman couldn't get to it. Bieksa trying to hang on to his balance here. Boyle's able to backhand it out slowly. And getting to it, J.T. Brown. He'll take on Yannick Weber. Brown going for a skate. Stroman and Hedman will handle it here. That'll finish off the penalty.
You know, having T.J. Brown out there, Rick, you know, you just throw it out there and let his speed run under it. Almost like they did with Bob Hayes with the Dallas Cowboys. Just throw it long, let him run under the ball. That's exactly what they did with Brown.
Steven Stamkos, another guy you could use the fly pattern on, and here he comes. He cuts in, and he's stopped by Lack. The puck loose in the crease, and Weber got rid of it. As the Canuck fans, I think, were holding their breath. They thought they were going to see a Stamkos hat trick in the first 14 and a half minutes of this game. And he's still on the ice, looking to create. Puts it in behind for Callahan. Back to Stamkos. Got a fire in front. It was blocked by Weber as Palat's knocked down by Kevin Bieksa. Schuster's shot is blocked. Callahan takes it. Bieksa sends it off Schuster's glove. Hansen got it ahead. It's tapped free and taken out by Brewer. Canucks changing. Callahan remains out there. And he's met by Edler. He'll slide it down the boards and change himself. Edler back for Tanev, out of his reach. Dorsett on hand to help out. Under 5 minutes to go here in the opening period. 2-1 Lightning in front. Both Lightning goals by Steven Stamkos. Chris Higgins has a goal sandwiched in between. The shots are 5 apiece. Matt Carl takes over the puck. Out for Brown, and it's through his skates. Eddie Lack out to handle it. Lack really came from nowhere to earn a job. Partner with Roberto Luongo as the season went along. He nearly played as much as Luongo did with the Canucks before Luongo was sent on to the Panthers. And here's Kucherov trying to sneak through. He ends up being dumped and slides into Lack. They're both okay. The net dislodged. 4:17 to go in this first period. Steven Stamkos looking for the hat trick. Another chance held off here.
Well, you're looking at the 2-1 Lightning lead thanks to their captain, and it was almost a 3-1 lead. Watch this move. Nice little touch pass by Palat through the pass, but the speed on what you see, drags it around, comes out in front, and just about snuck it past Eddie Lack. Lack does get that stick out and kind of poke checks it a little bit, but you know, you see that more often. Back in the day when those old guys like Cheevers and Eddie Giacomin, you know, you couldn't even get out there because they'd have the poke check out. Now with that paddle down style, it makes it difficult for goaltenders to do that for coming out of the side. Stamkos almost had his second consecutive natural hat trick.
Chief, we've talked a lot tonight about the chemistry quickly developing, obviously between Daniel and Henrik, but Rabada fitting in as the Canucks look to generate something here. Puck tipped in behind the net. How about that chemistry with Palat, Stamkos, and Callahan?
Oh, yeah. I think you can get really good chemistry with Palat anyway. You know, he works so hard.
Johnson swings it wide. Going to lose Hamhuis. Back out to Garrison. Over for Carl. Jason Garrison handles it outside the zone, brought it back in, and Brad Lazarewicz, also a native of the area, on the call there. Here's tonight's great moment in hockey history, brought to you by Geico. On this day in 1979, New York Ranger Phil Esposito scored his final hat trick in a 6-3 win over the Vancouver Canucks.
Boy, he scored a lot of hat tricks. I'll tell you that. And a lot of goals, Phil.
32 hat tricks.
That's amazing.
Pass just out of Conley's reach. Boyle in for Morrow. You're a young fan looking in as we're going to get a penalty to Weber here, and you're unfamiliar with the scoring exploits of Phil Esposito. Google him. Check out the records. Just phenomenal year in, year out, his point totals. We get Schuster and Dorsett pushing and shoving. The linesmen come in there to try to pull him apart. It looks like the Lightning are getting a power play on the play involving Yannick Weber here at 16:47.
I would guess at a hold because he grabbed a hold of Moyle right there. You can see him coming around the net. He grabs a hold of him.
Vancouver penalty number 6, 2 minutes for holding.
And to give the Lightning their second power play, they had one shot on goal with it.
Palat trying to step out of that corner. Puck fired away down the ice by Higgins. And Ben Bishop out to handle the puck. Leaving it for Hedman. Victor tied for the league lead with 5 power play points. Matty Boychuk, Sidney Crosby deadlocked with him in that regard. Tanev pressured by Palat. Higgins gets rid of it. And Hedman on the scene to hold it in for a moment. Canucks clear it out. They're off to a good start here and trying to kill this penalty as we enter the late stages of the first period. Paul Kennedy, Chris Dingman will have the intermission for you, and we'll be back for some comments before period number 2. Here from Vancouver, puck cleared down the ice by Daniel Sedin. Bishop looking for Stamkos, taken by Filppula.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit more patient. Get it set up there and get it move it around.
Hedman hit Johnson with the shot, and Burrows and Henrik Sedin come back with it. The pass for Burrows, a save by Bishop. He stayed strong there, and Henrik tried to knife in front, was checked by Johnson. Stamkos skates off of the puck. He's held up at the line, and Burrows turns it right around. 40 seconds left on the Weber penalty.
Boy, Vancouver's penalty kill has been very impressive in this first period. They really have disrupted the Lightning's entries, and they've really kind of had more scoring opportunities against the Lightning than vice versa.
Nick Bonino clears the puck. Now it's taken by Killorn. Scored his first goal of the season, the only goal for the Lightning in their last outing against New Jersey to finish off the homestand on Tuesday night. Hansen grabs a hold of the puck for Vancouver. Skates off here in the final seconds of this Lightning power play. Stralman takes over. Throws it out to the blue line. Who's going to get to it? Kucherov does. Weber out of the box. Vancouver at full strength. Lightning in front 2-1 as Carl enters the Vancouver zone. His shot was slowed down. Kucherov with it. Fires to Carl. Sets it up and drills one just wide. And the Canucks play it back out ahead for Zach Kassian. He's in a foot race once again with Garrison. And they rule that Garrison was ahead in that race. An icing call. Results against the Canucks, much to the dismay of the crowd here.
Well, this is that shot they got away. They knocked it down. They're blocking a lot of the shots just inside the blue line at the top of the circles. Here comes that redirect rather. The only shot that was on the power play, and it came off of the stick of Burrows. Then Bishop had to be very, very sharp to keep it out of there and prevent the Canucks from tying.
Richardson and Boyle. Looks like they'll line up once again. It's going to be Boyle tossed out, Conley coming in. And Richardson going to a knee to sweep it back with his stick. Of course, last year, remember, they outlawed gloving that puck back. Boyle works against Spiza. Boyle trying to wheel in front, stepped away from a check. Garrison, the big drive, and it's deflected off Lackett out of play. He was reaching up not only to deflect the shot, looked like he was covering his head. Look out.
I think he was. You really got a shot like Garrison. We haven't been able to see him really unleash one here. And you know, those are the ones that hurt all the way through your equipment.
Stamkos facing off against Bonino. Edler gets rid of it. Carl has to backtrack with 30 seconds to go. Pass ahead for Ryan Callahan. Edler takes it. Across for Tanev, who was a rock-solid +12 in their defense. Unheralded defensive defenseman for the Canucks. Garrison's pass off Palat's stick. Tanev has it. Tanev out of little-known Rochester Institute of Technology. His team got to the Frozen Four in 2010. Garrison shoots and he just sends it wide, and there's the final horn to finish off period number 1. Stay tuned for the Gulf Coast Honda dealers' first intermission report. Paul Kennedy, Chris Dingman. We'll be chatting with Steven Stamkos with both Lightning goals so far in this game. We'll have a new edition of On Thin Ice with Jay and Dan. Highlights and stats coming your way, so stay with us. Welcome back to Rogers Arena in Vancouver. 2-1 Lightning in front. Pair of Steven Stamkos goals. Chris Higgins has one for the Canucks. Rick Beckham and the Chief Bobby Taylor back with you after period number 1. Chief moments away from the start of the second. Lightning in front here. There's some things to like about that period and some things I'm sure they'd like to improve on.
Well, they have to be a little bit more diligent with the puck. I thought that their puck management wasn't real strong. They were a little bit sloppy, and I thought shots from the point when they were in the offensive zone were broken down by the Canucks rather easily on a lot of occasions, and they would come out with those odd man rushes, and that's something you got to be careful with. They've got good speed, Vancouver, and they've got some pretty good finishers in that Sedin line, but other than that, I thought their penalty kill was solid. I think their entries into the power play was okay. They didn't get a whole lot of shots on them, but I think the key thing of it is they got to tighten up their game a little bit because they're on the road.
Let's have a look at the Chase review. Not many shots made it to the net. 6 apiece as it works out. In fact, the Canucks only attempted 15 shots. The Lightning only attempted 11 shots in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, they have to really make sure that they get more shots towards that goal. And it's shooting from everywhere. Eddie Lack hasn't played yet this season, and he looks like he's a little bit shaky in there, and he hasn't had a whole lot of action to kind of get the nerves and the jitters under control.
Now, the first shot he faced was the Stamkos breakaway goal. 53 seconds into the hockey game as we're underway here in the second. Andre Schuster with a pass. Boyle ends up dumping it in. Black out there for it, leaving it for Spiza. He's checked by Brendan Morrow. Schuster holds his ground. However, the Canucks move it ahead, and right on target, a Burrows shooting, and it's tipped out of play by Eric Brewer.
Well, Tampa Bay Lightning hockey on Sun Sports is brought to you by Hat Tricks. And we know how great a place it is to go for your beverages and for chicken wings, but you can also get Hat Tricks at your next event. They have a Hat Tricks catering, so make sure you give them a call because you don't want to miss out on it. As you well know, one of the best sports bars in Tampa and really good chicken wings.
Tyler Johnson will take this face-off with the corner behind him to his right, being a right-hand shot. They played around for Alex Killorn. Checked by Hamhuis. Johnson with it. Throws it in behind the net. Filppula gets Chase. Here comes Carl down the boards. Connects with Killorn. Down he went. One hand of the puck along. We're going to get a penalty here with Killorn being dumped. And a penalty at the 38-second mark. Hamhuis making his way to the penalty box.
Vancouver, number 2. 2-minute minor trip.
Take a look at it. What's going to happen here? You see that the stick got caught right in the area between the boot and the blade. And he will sit for the 2.
You can see that cut in his nose, and now with the plastic shield, he came back to play last night in Edmonton with a cage. Toyota power play opportunity for the Lightning. Their third chance. They have only one power play shot so far. Filppula facing off against Higgins. Palat digging around for that puck, but it comes free to Edler. And Edler from center skims it in on Bishop. Edman around for Stamkos. Harried in there by Richardson. He fires, and it's deflected off the end boards and back around to Andre Palat, who has tied a career high with 2 assists in this game. Here's Higgins on a steal for Vancouver, trying to make some room for himself in front of the net. And he couldn't get it on goal, and neither could Richardson, as Palat skates off with it.
Got to have a little bit more urgency with this power play. They've been just dominating it right now. Now they've drawn another penalty.
Burrows carrying that puck in, and he was hooked on his way to the net. And with 1:18 to go in the call against Hamhuis, now it will be Palat heading off.
Now for penalty number 18, 2 minutes for hooking.
Well, we watched them with those 2 power plays in the first period, and Vancouver was really dominant with their penalty kill. And then you're seeing it here early in this first one in the second period. And not only that, but they erased the power play for the Lightning, and it's a 4-on-4 hockey for a while.
Johnson against Bonino in the faceoff, and Tyler controls it. And Strawman skates off with a puck in his 4-on-4 situation. We had a 4-on-4 for 2 minutes in the first period. Spiza with it, chased now by Johnson. Spiza, former Flyer draft pick. He went to Anaheim in the Chris Pronger deal way back when. Of course, Prongs has been in the news the last couple of weeks, added to the disciplinary department of the National Hockey League. Spiza. Stick handles to center. As he chips it in, Carl's right there, getting it to Johnson. Tyler from Spokane, Washington. Said last year when he came up, first trip up in the NHL, he had family and friends on, but he just had his family visiting in Tampa. Here's Bieksa shooting, and it reached Bishop. He makes the save. The rebound sent wide by Bonino. Deflected shot, and Bishop stayed with it to get the right pad on it. Stamkos steps away from Henrik Sedin, swerves in, still has it. Crowd buzzing. Stamkos trying to get it to the point, stopped by Bieksa. Back comes Daniel Sedin, playing it back for Edler, shooting, he scores. The Canuck defenseman joined the rush. He ties the score.
It's going to be a power play goal, because Hamhuis just came out of the box. The rush was on its way up there, but you see they just, right now it's just been an all Vancouver in this early part of the second period. Not only the penalty kill, but now they get that one rush on the ice on a power play, and they tie the game. The penalty kill has outshot the Lightning 2-1 in their 3 opportunities. Now they get their first power play, a very short-lived one, and get the goal to give them the tie.
Edler's first goal of the season. And the Canucks, as far as their power play is concerned, it's their 4th. As they score on their second opportunity, they're now 4 for 15 on the year. So as Chief notes, a good start for both special teams. And Kucherov in behind Spiza. Couldn't handle that bouncing pass. Trying to get it out in front. It's taken over by Vey. Spiza double team. Nemestikov steals. A pass is behind Brown. And is scooped up by Zach Kassian. He'll slide it down the ice. Jason Garrison starting it ahead. Hedman with a pass tipped in by Brendan Morrow. He'll work it in deep. Eddie Lack prevented that by coming out there and getting active with the stick. Puck shot in by Dorsett. And Bishop went down to one knee. Hurried there. He had the puck taken away. And Matthias checked by Brendan Morrow. And it's a good thing he was there. Boyle moving it along to Conley. Nice move to get around Edler. And Edler dumps it back in. Boy, Bishop was in some trouble and surrendered the puck, Chief. Brendan Morrow came to the rescue.
Boy, did he ever. You got a little bit nonchalant out there. I think they got a little bit more urgency in their game right now, because they're really, Vancouver's really they're beating them to the puck. They're taking it off them.
Bishop let it go for Strawman. He'll play it by Johnson's stick. Hamhuis couldn't get it by Filppula. He was just stationed in the middle of the ice. The puck came right to him. 4.5 minutes into the second period. And the Canucks have the only 3 shots of the period. They've scored on one of them on the goal by Edler. Filppula slams on the brakes. Carl with a try. It's blocked by Bieksa. Chopped on goal. Lack of save there as Tyler Johnson backhanded it toward the net. And the Canucks get it out. Filppula around for Killorn. Works away from Hamhuis. Good pass to Johnson. However, he's checked by Daniel Sedin. And Sedin on the move. Swings in with Henrik. And the one miscommunication that you would ever see between those two. The pass was intercepted, but the Lightning are going to be called in a penalty.
Too many men.
Too many men on the ice.
They got caught in a line change. They're trying to get off quickly, and the guys coming onto the ice got a hold of the puck before the other people got off. So it's going to be Vancouver's second power play of this period, third. There you see them all up there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see they're very slow in getting off and face off inside the zone. And the big thing now for the Lightning is that they've really got to be able to control that puck from that draw.
Edler's goal, Daniel Sedin and Bieksa the assists at 2:42. And Boyle pulls that puck back to Hedman. By Brown stick, and it got by Edler as well. Break for the Lightning there. Hamhuis chased back. Higgins playing it to Burrows. And the play whistled out offside.
Ice doesn't look really good. That puck's really bouncing around out there. You know, and for both teams, it's very difficult for the players to control it.
Chief, we talked about, and Paul and Chris in Lightning Live pregame about the end of the string of sellouts here at Rogers Arena. 474 straight sellouts dating back to November 14, 2002. And they announced it in the media yesterday that they didn't think they'd have the sellout for this one, which is about 18,900 seating capacity. Last year they averaged well over 19,000. They averaged about 870 standing room tickets. So no sellouts early in this season. Here's Rabada with the shot. Handled by Bishop. Dropped it for a moment, but he found it. And Daniel Sedin held off by Strawman.
Bish looks like he's a little trouble picking up the puck early. You can see him getting set. It's coming through. It's coming through a number of players, though. He didn't see it right there to the last end, but he was very quick to cover up on that rebound. I know the score's tied at 2, but Vancouver seems to be in complete control, at least in this first 5 minutes of this period.
Well, you and I were looking at the stat sheet at the end of one as the Canucks get a hold of it from the faceoff, and Rabada right there. He's got 3 goals on the young season playing with the Sedins. Around they work it to Bieksa. One touch to Rabada. Got a little too fancy, and Johnson got a stick in there. And Henrik Sedin scrambling back to center for it. The Sedins were each -2, and so is Rabada. The Stamkos line, each member was +2 with Palat and Callahan. So I think the Sedins had a look at that stat sheet as well. Daniel moves it around to Rabada. Ahead to Bieksa. Daniel gets it back, driving one, and it's handled by Bishop. He'll hold it in his equipment under his leg pad with 42 seconds to go on the call against being served by Alex Killorn.
He's the only guy that's going to shoot it from out there. You get the 2 Sedins. They want to score from about 3 feet out at the most. They'll make all those plays at the side of the net and get it in real close, but Rabada's a guy that will take that shot from out there, and Lightning got to be aware of it. I know Rick Bowness has schooled them a lot in how the Sedins like to play.
Premature movement on the rim of the circle. And Bonino chopped it in the slot, getting to it first, however, were the Lightning, and Carl was able to tap it back to center. Lightning coming in, killing 12 of 13 penalties. That second goal by the Canucks, a power play goal, as you can see in the replay. The penalized player just coming back on the ice in what was a 4-on-4. Here's Boyle shooting. A save by Lack, and he hangs onto it. Nice setup by J.T. Brown.
Well conceived play, and Brian Boyle saw Brown bursting down that left side. He just lobbed a real nice dump into the far corner so that it comes straight out rather than go around. And Brown using his speed, there he is, got in good position. Eddie Lack right there as well. And most times when that puck's in that close, it's a matter of the goalie being in the right position and making sure there's no holes.
Eddie Lack not as big as Ben Bishop, but he is 6'4", 197 pounds. As the Lightning trying to kill the remaining time on this bench minor for too many men on the ice, they've just about done it. Hamhuis has Bonino cutting through. Product of Boston University. Tyler Johnson works it free. Now as the Lightning back to full strength, DeLorme is on. And joining his regular line mates in Filppula and Johnson. Brewer joins the rush. Back in front. Saved by Lack on the tip by Filppula. Lack just reached out with a glove as Filppula backhanded it on the deflection. DeLorme has it. Handing it now to Filppula. Chased by Sean Matthias. Matthias pitchforks it out to center. Now to Canson, pivoting and turning to the Lightning zone. Strawman trying to get an edge on him, rides him out. Dorsett takes it from there, stopped in the wraparound by Bishop. Spiza regains the puck. Lucas Spiza cuts in behind the net. Kept wide by the Lightning defense. Dorsett, 4 goals last year for the Rangers. Strawman digs in along the end boards with Matthias. Canucks fourth line going to work here. Hansen checked by Killorn. Hansen off the boards looking for the shot. It's blocked. Gets it again. Hedman blocks 2. Killorn blocked 1. The puck still up for grabs. Killorn gets it out. Hansen playing it ahead. And Matthias catching up to that rolling puck. Hedman looking to slow him down. Callahan will take over in the chase. 11:18 to go in the second period. Canucks have had the pressure on. Shots are 6-3 Vancouver. As the puck carries the length of the ice and Lack there to play it. He's hurried in there. And Andre Palat wins a puck. And a stop by Lack there on Callahan in tight. Great play by Palat. Oh, he's had a few of those tonight.
Boy, yeah, you really got to get in that zone. I think both teams struggling offensively, or defensively rather, in their own zone. Obviously, you want to play in that zone more often than.
Bieksa starts it in for Vancouver, lobs it on net, an easy one for Bishop, the easiest one he's seen so far in the second period. And this game is tied up on the goal by Alex Edler.
We're tied at 2, just about halfway through the second period. Lightning had a couple pretty good chances and 2 tips. This one by Filppula just there. Eddie Lack just got the thumb of his catching glove on that one, and then Palat sets up Callahan in front, and he just gets the tip of his blocker on. But 2 really good chances for the Lightning and 2 good saves by Lack to keep this game tied. Lightning only 9 shots on goal, but 6 of them have been very good scoring chances.
Brian Boyle talking over a little strategy now, hurried up by Lazarevich. Henrik Sedin trying to bring Yannick Weber in a little tighter if he could win the face-off, but it's Boyle who prevails. Schuster with his reach at 6'8", getting it back. And Conley moves it out, tipped down the ice by Morrow. Spiza turns the net. Able to get a 2 for Rabada. Skated in 18 games with the Lightning in 2008. His wife was having a difficult pregnancy in their native Czech Republic. And he was very worried about that and asked to be loaned to his Czech team back there. And he went back, just played a few games that year and then came back and was traded to the then Phoenix Coyotes. It centered out in front and taken by Boyle. And Rabada, no question, Chief, he's played his best hockey with the Coyotes.
Oh, yeah, most of his goal scoring has come with that Arizona shirt on. But I think he's going to have a big scoring year this year playing with the 2 Sedins.
Aaron Pass carries the length and an icing call against Vancouver. The Corona tailgate package scores you 2 tickets, 2 sandwiches, 4 Coronas for all Saturday home games. Packages start as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. And the Lightning on their next homestand will have a Saturday engagement with Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. I believe that's November 1, Chief.
Yeah. It's kind of odd not seeing them as often as we did before.
Barry Trotz the head man now. But bouncing in front, it's played on goal. Nemestikov tried to center. It was blocked there by Weber as the Lightning with Garrison back to touch it up. And we've got a penalty upcoming at 10:41. Steve Kazzeri And Kyle Raymond comparing notes as they send Brewer to the box.
Tampa Bay, number 2, 2-minute elbow.
Canucks on the power play in a 2-2 tie in the second period when we come back. John Cooper looking for a big effort from his penalty killers here. Let's take a look at the Lightning's upcoming schedule presented by Steak and Shake.
An old friend next Monday, Teddy Purcell at the Oilers, and then Tuesday, the Flames, Yuri Hudler, former teammate of Filppula's. Friday, you see Brian Little with Winnipeg. Saturday against Zach Parise in the Minnesota Wild. And then back home.
Brewer off for elbowing. Canucks in the power play. A shot stopped by Bishop. Great save there on Frabata, who is trying to sneak into the bottom of that left wing circle. That's become his home with the Sedins, and Bishop held him off.
I can't understand how the Lightning had the lead in the faceoff circle. They've lost every faceoff when they've been in this offensive zone, it seems like, or even when they've been shorthanded or on the power play, and that's what created this great scoring chance. And Frabata tried to shoot it all at once. The puck was rolling on him. I don't think he got a lot of steam on it.
Henrik Sedin wins the faceoff back to Bieksa. Pass in front, deflected to the corner. Harry Pern likes some right-hand shots on the power play, and he wants those right-hand shots to be in a position for one-timing passes from the Sedins, who like to work from the right-wing boards. And we'll see if they get set up, what they might try to do here. They connected on that goal off the rush. A couple of seconds into the power play. Here's a pass ahead for Tyler Johnson. Both teams have had some scoring chances shorthanded in this game. Johnson tied up by Lyndon Bay, one of those right-hand shots that Pern likes to use. Johnson steals with Palat. Fires. Lacked the save, and he reaches down to cover the puck.
Wow, looks like both teams now shorthanded are being much more aggressive on the puck area and really creating some problems for the respective power play units to get the puck out of trouble. There you see it right there. Palat, Johnson, we've seen this all last year, Rick, when they were rookies, and probably one of the reasons why they were both finalists for the Calder Trophy.
Edler, as Brown continues to bottle up this Vancouver power play, over a minute's gone on the penalty to Eric Brewer. Out comes Edler. Bishop gets to it. Softly playing it to Carl, and they do work it out.
Boy, that puck is really bouncing. That ice looks awful.
Hamhuis in for Alex Burrows. He's checked there by Carl. Boyle, a free path to the puck. Sends it out of Schuster's reach. Edler pinching in. Back behind the net. There was another example there. That puck just hopped over Schuster's blade. Now it hops over the stick of J.T. Brown, but the Lightning persevere. Boyle will pursue the play. Gets around Hamhuis. Guides it off Lack, and it ends up behind the net. What an effort by Brian Boyle. Now with 7 seconds to go on the Canuck power play. Kassian over for Richardson. He shoots and missed the net. And that'll do it as Brewer's out. The Lightning at full strength. Stamkos and Brewer. Stamkos fires to Brewer. Stopped by Lack. And the puck rolled wide. Came out in front. And it's taken back by Hamhuis. Lightning dump it back in. Edler after it. Here comes Stamkos to bump with him. Richardson and Edler combined to get it out to center. Eddie Lack hearing the chance of Eddie, which I'm sure he did at times. The Canucks at times last year were a terrific team. They won 7 games in a row in December, but in the end, they missed the playoffs. And now Kassian trying to get around Matt Carl, and a high sticking indication from Raymond. Stamkos pleading the Lightning case. It's Carl who's heading off.
13:25 will be the time of this high sticking. Paul, we'll wait to see if it's going to be a 4-minute or a 2-minute.
This will be the 4th consecutive power play for Vancouver.
Well, Cassie's in the box again. What's he in the box for?
This might be a holding the stick high stick combo here. Let's see what we get. So there's no power play, it would appear. Officials did not officially announce to the crowd what the calls are.
There's the hold. He's holding his eye and hit him in the chin.
Now Conley is in the box to join Carl.
I think Carl get 4 minutes for high sticking.
Well, his stick hit Cassian as a result of Cassian pulling him on the shoulder for the penalty that he got. Out in front, Bishop a stop it close on Linden Bay. Daniel Sedin has it. We'll catch you up on the penalties in just a moment. It's a 5-on-4 for Vancouver in the final analysis. Vrbata in behind the net. So there is a power play for the Canucks, their 4th straight in this period. Vrbata sets it up for Tanev. Now to Henrik Sedin. Daniel at the side. Vrbata shooting. Bishop the save. He makes another stop on Bay. 3 saves early in this power play for Ben Bishop.
The play that we talked about, they love to make that play along the goal line, right in close to the net. Watch here, Daniel Sedin just flips that pass over to Vrbata. He got it off the toe of his blade. Didn't get it all. Ben Bishop makes 2 big saves.
Well, it is indeed a double-minor to Matt Carl for high sticking and 2 minutes to Zach Cassian for holding. And so Conley is serving the extra 2 minutes. That's the difference in the penalties, and 1:28 to go on that extra call. Boy, that play that the Sedins made to Vrbata is just, that is the play. It's like the Packers power sweep in terms of Vrbata's got 2 game-winning goals, and it's been off of that play in both games against Edmonton.
You know it's coming, but you can't stop it.
Exactly. That's what Vince Lombardi would say, Chief.
I know.
Puck deflects to Garrison. He fires it down the ice. Can't wait to hear what Paul Kennedy says about that at the second intermission. Hamhuis hands it now to Bonino. Edler in the hands of Burrows. And Garrison not giving him much room. Edler hits it back. He and Hamhuis work the points. Quick try by Bonino is played away. Burrows in behind the net. Higgins' pass reaching Bonino. Up to Edler. Hamhuis now 47 seconds to go on the penalty. Edler plenty of room to line up the shot. Bonino fires. Bishop in position there, and he stops the rebound. And the Lightning holding their ground with Schuster and Garrison in front. J.T. Brown as well, and Boyle also involved. And it looks like they're bringing that face-off out to center, or are they going to call a penalty?
I think that Raymond's going to call penalties.
Burrows heading off.
Vancouver penalty number 14, 2 minutes for roughing.
Out of all that, you find one guy for roughing. Oh, well.
Four on four for 39 seconds. The Lightning then, unless we get any further calls, will take over on their 4th power play chance. From the faceoff comes out to center, and Strawman with it. Chased by Daniel Sedin, turns the net. Strawman carrying it all the way in. Now he's tripped up. Yeah. He slides into Lack, and the net dislodged. A penalty upcoming here against the Canucks for a trip. Strawman and Lack get up. They're okay. And we'll be back with the penalty call and the ensuing Lightning power plays in a moment.
2-2 the score, and there's been a rash of penalties handed out. Strawman making a really nice rush up there. Watch this. He gets through one player back there. Now Bieksa tries to take it to the outside, and He knocks the skates out from under him before he got to the puck. And that's going to be a tripping minor. So it'll be a 4-on-3 for the Lightning at this point for 24 seconds, and then it'll be a 5-on-3 after that.
Red Conley still in the box serving the second half of that Carl double minor, the extra 2 minutes of that double minor for the high stick. Canucks win another special teams face-off, and they get it clear down the ice. Stamkos. Fourth Lightning power play. Now Filppula's got to turn back for the puck. Loses into that zone. Callahan had it ripped away by Brad Richardson. He clears it out. Conley returns. 5-on-3 for the Lightning as Palat steps on. 1:10 to go on the first penalty to Burrows. Here comes Filppula. Critical juncture of this hockey game. We're tied at 2. Callahan. Back to Garrison. Around to Stamkos. Palat and Callahan down around the net. Harrison with it. Canucks certainly know about his big shot. Edler double teamed. Down went Palat. Filppula chipping it back for Garrison. And Garrison very deftly playing it along the line. That puck was in the air until it got back to the point. Callahan with it. Back to Stamkos with 2 goals already. Garrison scuffs the shot. Edler fires it away. Couldn't get much on it. Garrison gets it back to Stamkos. Feeds it now to Callahan. Beating it through. It was blocked at the defense by Edler. He keeps it alive and around to Garrison. Now to Stamkos. Fakes the shot. Goes back to Filppula. Filppula back to Garrison. Stamkos fires. Scuffs it. It reached Lack as Stammer broke his stick. Callahan gets the puck back again. Stamkos still on with a new stick. Skates it in. Beating it across. Callahan scores! Late in the second penalty, Ryan Callahan fires it home. And the Lightning retake the lead at 3-2.
Well, they had good zone possession, but the thing is they're trying to move that puck to get some pretty good shots away. They had a couple, but that one right off the post and in. And Vancouver did a nice job of keeping everybody to the outside. Lightning were trying to get a little bit better angle on the shot. That one by Callahan just got inside, actually hit the post and then go in. So Ryan Callahan on the power play.
2 of his 3 goals have come with the man advantage. Stamkos to set up his 3rd point. Lightning 1 of 5 on the power play tonight. They quickly caught up in terms of opportunities with that 2-man advantage. There was only 15 seconds left on the penalty to Pieksa when Callahan scored. There's a pass in for Vrabada, out of his reach. Strawman getting to it. Daniel Sedin back to Vrabada. Henrik settles it in front. The pass just out of his reach. And Callahan back to center. Somebody's playing without a glove out there. And it was Brewer who now has it once again in his possession. Henrik Sedin had it worked away by Brewer. Morrow holding up Daniel. Conley plays that puck back to his defense, and Brewer will tap it in. Black reverses for Daniel Sedin. He'll send it out. Garrison gives chase. Lightning coaches sending a lot of kudos Garrison's way in the last couple of days. Naturally, he's a subject talked about in the Vancouver media. And John Cooper talking about how tough he is, heavy he is down low to play against, and very savvy in terms of playing his own zone.
And he moves the puck quickly out of his own zone. That's the key, too, that Lightning sometimes have trouble getting it out quickly, and Jason Garrison does a good job of doing that.
America's News Sports Network is the place to turn before every home run, every goal, every game with America's pregame show on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune into America's pregame show weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern Time only on Fox Sports 1. Imagine they've had plenty of highlights to show of the Lightning with the start they've had. Hedman's big start, the Stamkos hat trick. Here's a play out in front for Brewer, shooting. Lack the save. Rebound. Recovered by Filppula. Brewer tries again. It's off the skate of Richardson and wide. Sent in front. Killorn couldn't get a stick on it. He was battling Richardson. on a nice setup by Tyler Johnson. Finally, Lyndon Bay shakes free. Bay caught up to by Killorn. Richardson comes by. Johnson holds him up. Schuster saw the hit coming. Pitching at Edler, shooting. And Brewer got a skate on it. Bay backs it up. Chris Tanev throwing it off a skate. Just deflected off Schuster and missed the net. Not by much. Edler fires and a stick save by Bishop. Tanev sends it back across. Edler fakes the shot. They look for Zach Kassian. And the big guy chased to the boards by Schuster. Shots are 20-16 Canucks here in the final minute of play in the second. 3-on-2 for the Lightning. Filppula to Johnson. Breached Lack, and he kept it away. Alex Burrows ahead for Bonino. Knocked free by Strawman. Tanev got there in time to hold it in for the Canucks. Controlled by Killorn. Couldn't slip it by Bonino on the first try. Harvard won out against BU on that one, though, and they got it to center.
You can see where that puck's just been bouncing and rolling. You can't get a good handle on it.
20 seconds to go before the intermission. Andre Palat. Such a strong game tonight. His shot is handled by Eddie Lack. He'll hang on to it. Stay tuned for the Gulf Coast Honda Dealers second intermission report. Here's what's coming up. Paul Kennedy, Chris Dingman will be chatting with Ryan Callahan, who has added a goal to go with the 2 Stamkos goals tonight. They'll take you around the league. A lot of action in the NHL on this Saturday night. Highlights and stats coming your way. Boyle leans in against Henrik Sedin. And it's worked back toward Lack. Daniel couldn't get it out. It deflects back to Steven Stamkos. Stammer with the 2 goals and nearly scored a third on that goal-mouth drive. He really worked hard in the second period to set up his teammates. Look for Eric Brewer on one chance, and he did set up Callahan for the third goal, and the Lightning have a 3-2 lead over Vancouver, despite being outshot 20-18 through the first 40 minutes of tonight's game. Tampa Bay Lightning hockey on Sun Sports has been brought to you by Gulf Coast Honda. Visit your Gulf Coast Honda dealers for great deals on new Hondas. Go to gchondadealers.com. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. Welcome back to downtown Vancouver. It's been a wonderful start weather-wise to our trip across Western Canada, ending in the state of Minnesota. And Chief, through 40 minutes of play, Lightning picked up a lot of penalties there. As Ryan Callahan was telling the boys, it doesn't have to be an oil painting. Just get the 2 points. They've got that 1-goal lead heading for the third.
Yeah, they have. The power play came through for them. It was struggling there for a while before they got that 2-man advantage. Vancouver actually had outshot the Lightning with the man advantage. So one of the things that I think you'd like to see was probably clean up a little bit more of passing, be a little bit more diligent and making sure, and as Chris talked about, getting the puck in and keeping it out of the zone very quickly.
Let's get you caught up on the numbers through 2 periods. Our chase review and the shots, 14-13 Vancouver. Boy, they had a lot of pressure zone time in that second period, but the shots end up being pretty close. And you see the power plays, both 1 for 5 to start this game. So we'll see what the penalty situation might turn out to be in this third period, as we had quite the spate of minors called in the second period. The Boyle, Morrow, and Conley units start for the Lightning, and it's Spiza back for the Canucks, trying to lose Brian Boyle, and out in front Conley trying to get a shot underway and disrupted by Henrik Sedin. Henrik Sedin along with Weber working along the boards. Boyle involved for the Lightning, joined by Strawman. Spiza steps away with it, and it's dumped in by Bravada. Strawman sends it off the glass around to Morrow. Got to get that red line to dump it in. Boyle finishes the job. They'll go for a change. Out comes Edler. Sends it off Bonino's stick. Callahan takes a look. sees he's got Brewer behind him. And the native of Vernon, BC will lug it out for the Lightning along with Callahan. He's slowed up at the line, at the red line by Higgins. Schuster sends it back around. Palat steers it in. Alex Burrows there for it. Tanev. Good pass out for Bonino. Edler joining the rush for Vancouver. That's the shot go, and it's off Bishop. He deflected it wide. Perhaps not exactly where he wanted to put it, but it was effective. And Schuster gets it out for the Lightning. Kevin Bieksa stepping on, now in his 10th year as a member of the Canucks. Chased by J.T. Brown. And Bishop gets a handle. Bieksa right there, and he'll chip it in behind the net. Zach Kassian, big muscular winger, a former Sabre first-rounder, finding a regular job on the Canucks third line. Pass in front. Palat steals it. He tried to send Nemestikov off to the races. It was blocked. Kassian turns, hooks it in front. Garrison got a skate on it. And Strawman's stick was obstructed there by Lyndon Bay in a good defensive maneuver. They're told Victor Hedman out for the rest of this game. Here's Kucherov to Brown on the backhand. Stopped by Lack. Puck in behind the net. It's chopped back to the blue line. Brewer there. Victor Hedman sustaining an upper body injury and will not return for this third period. Puck is chipped out. The race is on. Bishop helping out Brewer. Angled it perfectly for Nemestikov. Ahead for Kucherov. It's over his stick.
Well, hopefully that's not a serious one, because you sure would like that big guy for the rest of this Western Canadian trip.
And it gets busy from here on in. Lightning back-to-back games Monday, Tuesday in Edmonton, Calgary. A couple of days off. They finish off with back-to-backs in Winnipeg and Minnesota. Mathias in front, trying to get it on goal, was stopped by Carl. Away comes Johnson. Sails it rink wide. Yannick Weber, the ex-Canadian, off the boards. It comes to Schuster. Garrison, who picked up the second assist in the Callahan goal, his first point with the Lightning.
Yeah, that's the one thing we haven't seen so far yet. He was their fifth leading scorer, Vancouver's, that is, last year. So picking up his first assist, maybe that broke the snide for him.
Tonight's broadcast code of the game is Cooper. Simply go to lightningfanrewards.com and enter the code in our Game Day Challenge section. Register now to start playing. The code word is Cooper.
Just looking, the Lightning still leading in the face-offs, Rick. 56% to 44%, but sure doesn't seem like that when it comes to special teams.
Kevin Bieksa skates it out for the Canucks. Puck deflected in by Daniel Sedin. And Bishop firing it off the boards. Hamhuis holds it in for Vancouver. Henrik getting it in front for Daniel. Spun away. Bieksa with it. Settles the puck down. Could get it around Garrison, who's muscling up there in the corner on him. Daniel Sedin stick one out in that battle as Boyle moves it ahead to Conley. Brett shoots it in. Around for Brendan Marl. Lets it go. Boyle fires, and it's blocked out in front. Taken out by Marl. He finds Strawman. Strawman trying to find the puck. Conley matched up with Hamhuis. Daniel Sedin over for it. Plays it off the glass. Bouncing puck, and it ends up being deflected with a high stick by the Canucks, and the whistle blows.
Well, we expected both teams to come out, at least Vancouver only come out with a burst at the start of this period. We weren't disappointed. So probably the fastest end-to-end back and forth action we've seen thus far in this game.
Lightning, good road team last year. They had 21 wins, going 21-17-3. Canucks trying to go 4-0 for the first time since 1992 to start the season. So both teams expecting to play well in this third period, and they're off to a good start. Burrow's pass was played away, and Callahan races up ice with Steven Stamkos. Back to Callahan, met at the defense. Puck dribbled back to Lack. He'll cover it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eric Brewer just separated him from the puck along the wall there. Brewer's really been skating well and using that big body of his to its advantage. Take a look when you come down there. They're trying to Burroughs trying to break there. Watch, timed it perfectly and just really rocked him, and then Callahan was able to come in and pick up that puck and start the other way.
Lightning starting the season with plenty of depth on D, and Radko Gudas out with a lower body injury. It's a day-to-day thing, and John Cooper continues to say he expects him to play during the road trip. He got on the ice for the first time in a number of days today. And Victor Hedman with an upper body injury out for the rest of tonight's game. Mark Barberio the healthy scratch for this one. Bay tried to center, could not. Shouldered by Schuster. Richardson out to the point. Weber with the try. Leaping Bishop got a piece of it with his right arm, and it just dropped to the side. Brown rescues the puck and bounced it back down the ice.
I don't think Ben saw it all the way. That big Cassian was in front of him.
Takes a lot to screen Ben Bishop.
Well, especially when he's standing up straight, not in the crouch.
Couple of guys 6'4", 220 on the ice. Mathias, one of them, racing Garrison back for that puck. Dorsett with a try. That hit Mathias and deflected out of play. And Paul was talking about that new rule as far as the BX tripping call. Here's another one here. The Little Caesars Family Fun Pack scores you 4 tickets, 4 pizzas, 4 ice creams, 4 sodas for all Saturday and Sunday home games. Packages start as low as $100. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. I think Tyler Johnson might have been questioning the faceoff staying in the zone, but that's new this year when the shot deflects off a teammate. The offensive team goes out of play. Faceoff does not come outside. Hamhuis puts it on net, turned aside by Bishop. Dorsett couldn't get it far down the board. Strawman there to steal it. Out comes Killorn. Filppula with him as well as Johnson. The pass to Johnson. He shoots. And they score! Killorn follows up. That shot by Johnson looked like it might have gone in, but it apparently hit the post, came rocketing back out, and Killorn made sure it's 6:04. It's a 4-2 lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, nice play getting out of the trouble and moving in. Watch all night long they've been able to back off that defense. Of course, it was a 3-on-2. They're going to have to back up, but go to the net. That's something that the coaching staff wasn't really excited about, how with their lack of going to the net against New Jersey, and they're really trying to push it in tonight's game, and it paid off for Alex Killorn picking up his second of the year. I would think that not only Johnson, but Filppula would also get an assist on that goal.
Now Killorn with goals in back-to-back games. And a little breathing room, but plenty of hockey to be played. Just under 14 minutes in this third period. Puck deflects out in front. Boyle trying to get a hold of it. And Brewer chips it out. Ahead for Connolly. He's bumped by Hamhuis. Morrow digging as well. Schuster holds his ground. Does a good job keeping that play in the zone for Boyle, who fires. It's slowed down. Hamhuis controls. Couldn't get much on the clear as he fanned on it. Boyle fires it back toward the net. And a penalty upcoming to Conley for grabbing Bieksa by the shoulder. Lightning will be shorthanded here on the call. Alex Killorn following up on the Johnson shot, and he scores, and the Lightning lead 4-2. They'll be shorthanded in a moment.
Well, Brett Connolly picks up a holding minor at 6:43. Gives the Canucks their 6th power play. But here's our high-def highlight brought to you by H.H. Gregg. That's Steven Stamkos' first goal of the game, coming at the 53-second mark. Started the Lightning off, as you see here. Beautiful play by Palat. Come through right through the 5-hole on Eddie Lack. And that's what started off the Lightning to this 4-2 lead that they now enjoy. But now a shorthanded situation. And a face-off inside their zone.
Henrik Sedin digs deep to win that one. Toyota power play chance for the Canucks. As they're 1 for 5, as are the Lightning with a man advantage tonight. And Strawman first, then Brewer taking turns burying their Canuck checks. And the Lightning come out. Possible 2-on-1, shorthanded. It's Palat. He fires and he sails it over the net. That puck did not settle down for him. Rabada right back for the Canucks. To Daniel. Back for Henrik. Bieksa waiting. Henrik. Down to Daniel. He fired it off Bishop. Rabada with a shot blocked there by Strawman. Keep in mind the Lightning down to 5D with Hedman out for this game. Bieksa across for Henrik Sedin. Boy, Lightning fortunate that Henrik hit Bishop, or I should say Daniel hit Bishop with that pass, Steve, because it kind of threw Rabada's timing off.
Yeah.
Lyndon Bay picks it up. A minute to go in the penalty. Rabada drilling one at Bishop. A stop. He was screened by Henrik Sedin.
I don't get out, how you can stand inside the goal crease when the guy's taking a shot. That's what gets me. Outside it, yeah, but right on top of you and inside the goal crease.
Rabada. Henrik feeding the point man. Bieksa takes the drive, looks for a tip. Bay couldn't do anything with it. Strawman can't get it by Daniel Sedin. They get it back. The Twins operating. And Bishop, a huge stop there. Bay turns, has the puck. Fed in front by Daniel off the post. Covered by Bishop. And play is halted. Henrik Sedin landing on Bishop with 20 seconds to go on the call to Conley. Wow, what action. Ben Bishop, maybe his best save, wasn't really a save.
Well, Ricky, I talked with him this morning about that exact play. Is it more your responsibility or your defenseman when that pass comes through the paint? He says it's really a combination of both. And that time, Ben Bishop did a tremendous job. And he even got a piece of it before it hit that goalpost to save it on this power play opportunity, which has 20 seconds to run for Vancouver. Well, that is such a game saver and a goal saver for a goalie if you're able to deflect that pass like that.
Drive taken from the point by Edler, and that ends up wide. Boy, the play that started that with one of the Sedins and a wide open Rabada, the pass interrupted by the Bishop stick being thrust out. Here's a shot deflecting off Bishop, and it hit Burrows, bounced wide. Penalty over. Conley returns, fired to the corner, and Brett Conley will get a stick on it, and here he comes. Going to take on Tanev. Tanev leading it for Higgins. Back around for Edler. Burrows. Hounded by Boyle. Carl takes over. Wiles it to Brown. Brown winding, shooting. Saved by Lack. He'll hang on.
Good opportunity. Well, I'll tell you what, they've had 25 shots on goal, Vancouver. 13 have come with the man advantage. Talk about their power play working a lot better than it did for them last year when they were 27th in the league at 15.2%. They've really been firing the pucks at Ben Bishop and really working the Lightning's penalty killers to a bone here so far in this game.
Strawman with a shot. And a stop by Lack. He had a stick down on that one. Canucks also with 2 shorthanded shots. They only have 10 shots at even strength in the game.
Yeah.
Hamhuis cornered by Morrow. Joined now by Callahan as the Lightning looking to come up with a puck in that Vancouver zone. Hansen flips it ahead, knocked down by Carl. Reaching back for it here. Strawman. Tied up by Jannik Hansen. Carl gets it free. It comes out to Spiza. And behind to Hansen, out of his reach, Stamkos curling back. Carl will backhand it over the defenseman. Rolling, spinning puck will come back, and Lack has to play it, so the Lightning will get their change. We're midway through the third period. The shots are 25-24 Vancouver. The Lightning have a 2-goal lead at 4-2. Edler. Lyndon Bay will play it in. Bishop moves it along. Brewer getting to it. Alex Killorn keeping it on the boards and out.
Well, a lot of times they've tried to make that little quick short pass through the middle that has proved so effective for them in the first games, and they haven't been able to get to that. It's been deflected by Vancouver or stopped by the Canucks.
Cassian's pass tipped. It comes back to Bishop. He'll hang on to it here. Challenged by Killorn. And everybody calms down with 9:29 to go in this third period. Tampa Bay leading by 2.
4-2, the Lightning in the lead. Just under 10 minutes remaining in regulation. Let's take a look at how the Stars have played tonight for their respective clubs. Stamkos with the 2 goals and a +2 rating. Sedin, 1 assist, -2. Henrik Sedin Stronger on the face-offs, but also -2. And that's something we talked about, Rick. Is trying to make them play in their own zone longer than they are normally used to. And so far it's worked for them.
And they were victimized by the 2 Stamkos goals in the first period. Callahan a goal and an assist. Palat a pair of assists. And we got a 7-point night for that line. Leading the charge for Tampa Bay. Anton Stralman got the second assist on the Killorn goal. Johnson and Stralman the assist. Here comes Johnson. And he's kept wide by Spiza. Filppula reaching in there. Weber. Checked by Killorn. Puck rolls to Carl. Yannick Weber back there. Gave it up. Killorn feeding it to Tyler Johnson. Getting to it. Slides it in behind. Filppula comes by. Valtteri Filppula looking to set up on those right wing boards. Johnson knocks down the pass. It was deflected. Daniel Sedin trying to spring Vrbata. Carl kept the puck away from him. And Carl checked to see if he had any family coming from Anchorage, Alaska. You can't get any closer to an NHL market than this. He said, nah, his folks are in Hawaii. Residents of the 49th state visiting the 50th state. Pass in front comes out. It's off Stralman's stick. He races back. Brewer ahead for Namestnikov. Bieksa playing it across to Hamhuis. Lobbing the pass. It was behind Higgins. And icing will be the call against Vancouver. Just under 8 minutes to go in the third. The Subway Student Rush ticket scores you the best available seat for just $20 and is available for all home games with a valid student ID. You can buy it at Amalie Arena box office 30 minutes prior to game time.
Well, you see now they're really changing the lines very, very quickly. Of course, Vancouver will. They played last night in Edmonton. It's not a long flight. It's about an hour, 20 minutes, I would think. That's what the Lightning are going to face here tonight after the game.
Kelly right on the wall here.
Stamkos chipping it off Callahan's stick. Bieksa. Hamhuis moving it along. Jannik Hansen gets it out for Dorsett. Fourth line getting a shot here. Dorsett on the backhand, guiding it off the side of the goal. Mathias tips it, and it's covered. Bishop dropping his goal stick to make sure he covered that loose puck.
It gets caught on the net when you're out there, and you can't. So you don't get caught there yourself. You watch it there. He wants to get it to make sure that it comes there. He doesn't want to have it just one glove covering the puck. He wants both of them on there. It's like the fumble drill in football.
That's it. Richardson and Boyle. And looks like they're both going to get tossed here in the false start by Lazarevich. Conley and Kassian. Conley pulling it back. Garrison muscled his way in there. Morrow looked for the hit first, puck later. He landed the hit on Kassian. The Lightning left the zone. Here's Conley. Sharp angle. Forced behind the net. Still with it. Feeds it out of Stralman in the slot. Had it taken away. Linden Bay ahead for Kassian. Richardson kicking it in the zone. Stralman controlling it. As he tried to reverse direction, he turned right into Richardson. Bay has it. The youngster with a try toward the net. Intercepted by Garrison. And it's Brett Conley for the Lightning, easing it into Vancouver territory. Boy, Chief, you got to like how the Lightning have approached this third period.
They've really calmed down. They seem to be a little bit much more poised than they were in the first 40 minutes, in my mind, Rick.
That's a habit that it's good to see them develop. Of course, you know, they had the 1-0 lead against Ottawa in the home game where the Senators came back, ultimately winning a shootout. And you don't see them blow third period leads very often, but since then they really have buckled down in the third.
Exactly. I think it really helps too when you got guys like Boyle and Brendan Morrow out there, Garrison and Stralman on the point on the defense, and of course Bishop in goal.
Well, Vrbata trying to make something happen. Still 6.5 to go in the third. Lightning up 4-2 as Johnson taps it in deep in the Vancouver zone. It's centered in front and played away by Vrbata. Daniel Sedin reverses. Killorn getting a stick on it. Lucas Spiza there for it. Away comes Henrik Sedin. Meanders to center. One hands it into the corner. Couldn't fight his way through the traffic. JT Brown sliding it up the boards. Burrows got there in a hurry. Shoots, deflected on Bishop as it skimmed off Eric Brewer out in front. Chipped along, Henrik Sedin. Brewer stepping in there. Henrik firing it back and out of the reach of Bieksa. Eddie Lack there to play it.
It's really good to see Cooper using the youngsters out there now too, Rick. 5.5 to go. Usually you get young, inexperienced guys. You probably don't see the ice as much, but they're out there now.
Bonino trying to center against Carl, having a tough time doing so. Kucherov fired it off Garrison's leg. Bishop will calm everything down and get a whistle with 5:16 to go in the third period. Lightning leading 4-2.
Lighting up 4-2. It's time now to take a look at our diamond performance of the game presented by Ackerman Jewelers and, of course, the captain, Steven Stamkos. First goal of the game at the 53 seconds and the second goal for the Lightning halfway through at 8:26. Picked up an assist on Callahan's goal on the power play to give that Lightning back the lead. And our diamond performance, as you see there, 2 goals and assists, 5 shots, plus 2 rating, goes to Steven Stamkos.
He won the face-off. Stralman chased behind the net by Bonino. Held in. Edler with the shot, and that's snuffed out by Andre Palat. Palat and Callahan will force the Canucks back. Palat trying to get around Edler. Reaching for it. Hurled it in front just off Callahan's stick. And it's bounced out by Vancouver with Carl getting to it. Shots 8-6 Canucks here in the third. Stralman to center. He'll hoist one in deep. And it's off the top of the glass. Sean Mathias, who came to Vancouver in the Luongo deal last March. Flying through center, and Stamkos just pried it right off his stick. He gets it back from Hansen. Morrow. In on Jannik Hansen. Brett Conley arrives on the scene. Mathias will backhand it down the ice. Derek Dorsett. In a collision course with Brewer. They rub each other out. Hansen centers. It's tipped by Conley. Spiza trying to hold it in, does.
That was a nice play by Conley, just to direct it, because I'll tell you what, Spiza was coming in. He was ready to unload a big shot.
Puck is iced with 4 minutes even to go in the third period. All rights to this broadcast are reserved. Any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Tampa Bay Lightning is prohibited. Big face-off time here with Boyle and Henrik Sedin.
Yeah, 4 minutes, a lot of time, a lot can happen. Somebody's taking a timeout now. I think it's going to be the Lightning. Well, with that timeout now, we'll give you a chance to show you the 3 stars of the game. So the Lightning brought to you by Steak and Shake. You see there, obviously, 2 goals and assists. Steven Stamkos, our #1 star. Ryan Callahan, the power play goal that gave the Lightning back the lead, plus an assist. Anton Stralman, especially when Victor Hedman went down, he was just been a rock back there and stopping the Canucks rush after rush and offensive tries. And you can see he's been sweating quite a bit because of it, but I'll tell you what, he's just been such a tremendous player for the Lightning in this early part of the season.
Well, Boyle will take this face-off. He's out with Connolly and Morrow. Schuster and Brewer defensively. Ryan Boyle will go against Brad Richardson with Zach Kassian, Lyndon Bay on this as well. Lazarewicz is sending Richardson out. Lyndon Bay in natural center will take this. Edler and Chris Tanev back at the points. It's played their way. Tanev couldn't control the puck initially. He'll have to keep it on the boards. Brewer battling there against Kassian. And it come out front for Conley, taken out by Boyle. Gets the red line. He's able to chip it in.
Boy, he's so calm. And He's kind of the forward's answer to Anton Strawman. Never panics with the puck. Very calm with it, Brian Boyle. And coming into the third period, he was 69% on faceoffs. So good choice to have a really key defensive faceoff in your zone. And he's another one of those guys that seems to make the right play all the time.
Well, the trip to the finals certainly had them learning how to play under pressure as members of the Rangers, both Strawman and Boyle. Carl getting to it. Gave it up behind the net. Cassian centers. Carl got it back. And it's chipped away by Killorn. Bieksa pursued back now by Filppula. Have to keep an eye on Eddie Lack a little sooner than usual with a 2-goal deficit facing the Canucks. Bieksa to center. Nice move to get away from Killorn. Ran into Strawman and the play's offside. And Lack was starting toward the bench with 3:09 to go. Be sure to tune in Monday night. The Lightning continue their trip through Western Canada with a matchup against the Edmonton Oilers. Coverage begins at 9 p.m. with Lightning Live pregame. That's the Bolts and the Oilers Monday night right here on Sun Sports.
That little play at the blue line by Anton Strawman was what he was talking about. Number 3 star. He just stayed at that blue line, made that little move, and forced Vancouver to go offside.
Hamhuis. Henrik Sedin swings away from Stamkos. Gets the line now as Lack makes it to the bench. Daniel with a pass it behind. Extra skater on for the Canucks. Bieksa beating it back down the boards. Henrik runs into Garrison. He'll chip it back the other way. Palat reaching for it. It's fired across. Rabada fakes. Lost the puck. Callahan got it loose. Plays it out to center with 2.5 to play in the third. Canucks an empty net. 6 skaters on. Hamhuis from the red line. He'll hammer it in. Bishop stays put. Puck comes down to Brewer. Tap free to Henrik Sedin. And behind of Rabada. We've got Daniel parked out in front. Here's a shot with a point off the post. Hamhuis hit the goal post. Stick side or glove side on Bishop. And the Lightning with Stamkos looking to set up Callahan. Now fires and it's intercepted by Bieksa. 2 minutes to go.
Man alive, you can't hit the post more dead on than that.
And the puck lost by Henrik Sedin at center. Here's J.T. Brown cutting and shooting. It's blocked in front by Bieksa. Playing it ahead to Bonino. Henrik Sedin as Daniel cutting down the middle. Moving it to the corner to Bonino. Henrik looking to make a play. Tanev fires. Saved by Bishop. Rebound. Rabada shoots. Saved by Bishop. And he reaches out to cover the puck. 1:28 to go. Ben Bishop, 2 huge stops. The second one on Radim Rabada with one of the hottest sticks in the NHL right now.
Well, I'll tell you, when you take a look at it right off the post, this is the one we're talking about. King run on there and just dead on the post. And then you see this one right here off. There it is again, the post. As you see, he hit it dead on that long shot. There's that big save right from the point. That one right there. And the key thing of it is not only making that first save, but knowing exactly where that rebound would go to if it was sent out like he did. And he knew Rabada was right there, and he just moved over there and took it away from him.
Boy, Edler made a great assertive play there at the red line to prevent the Lightning from getting set up for a good shot at the empty net. Killorn now easing it out off Tanev. Here's Tyler Johnson. He'll cut in and he'll backhand it wide. Just over a minute to go in the third as Johnson lost an edge. He went sliding into the end boards along with Richardson. Lightning trying to hem in the Canucks as long as they can. And Strawman with that stick able to keep the puck away from the Vancouver attackers. Here's Burrows shooting. Glove by Bishop. Settles it down for Carl. Chipping it off the glass. Edler centers. It's tapped in front. Richardson has stopped at point blank range by Bishop. Lightning do get it to center. Johnson without a helmet. Now to Filppula. Waits. Feeds it. Killorn with it. Shoots. And it deflected away and fired back with 28 seconds to go. The Lightning with numerous opportunities in this open net. The Canucks have held him off. The post has held him off. Here's Henrik Sedin dipping and diving. Gets it in front. It's chipped by Cassian over the net, and Bishop covers the puck. What a wild sequence. 15.3 to play.
Man alive, I've never seen a team have so many scoring chances and not get a shot on goal with no goalie on there. Tyler Johnson had to play the last minute without his helmet. But watch this one here. The play comes out right in front, and he just got over there very quickly. As Brad Richardson had the best chance to put his team within one.
Canucks get it. Weber the shot, and it's blocked by a sliding Ryan Callahan. No surprise there. Henrik Sedin behind the net throws it into traffic. Bishop dropping that stick to once again make sure he can cover. 6.6 to go, and the Lightning leading 4-2.
Boy, they've had a ton of shots on goal. Vancouver right now.
12-6.
Yeah, 12-6 right now. Lightning scoring the only goal of this period.
Well, that seems like a light total as Henrik Sedin wins the draw, kicked in front, loose in the slot. Bieksa can't get it through. That should do it. One more try, and it's blocked by Garrison, and the Tampa Bay Lightning survived this one. Quite an onslaught at the end. With over 3 minutes to go in the third period, Lack pulled for the extra skater. The Canucks with 6 skaters on, but they could not get by Ben Bishop and the Lightning. They could get no closer, and Tampa Bay pulling away. A late second period goal by Callahan on the power play. Alex Killorn scoring in the third to make it 4-2. The Lightning have won 3 straight here at Rogers Arena, and they're off to a winning start to this 5-game road trip. We'll be back with Lightning Live postgame in just a moment.